Let's just start off first with the jobs report out this morning. 311,000 jobs were added in February, and the unemployment rate edged up to 3.6%. Separately, Silicon Valley Bank sold off a $21 billion bond portfolio for a considerable loss to shore up liquidity, sending shockwaves across financial markets. And Lawrence, the bank is generally regarded as one of the default fallback options for industry participants impacted by the collapse of Silvergate.
Yeah, you have this really weird situation going on right now because on the one hand, the Fed is trying to curb inflation. So when it sees a job report like what we just got today, 311,000, the market was expecting 225,000, so significantly higher, which means more people are working. The other interesting thing, wages are up, they're up significantly over the previous year. So what the Fed wants to do is it wants to curb inflation. The way to do that, raise rates. We were looking at about a 50-50 chance for the Fed to raise rates 50 basis points or else 25 basis points. And that actually is higher for the 50 basis points than it was a few weeks ago when it was about a third. But then you have the collapse of things like Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate. I wouldn't want to say collapse necessarily, but definitely the collapse of their stock prices and real tough issues that they're facing because interest rates are rising. They're suffering all this because the assets that they bought are declining in value as their customers are pulling money out. This creates this sort of imbalance on their balance sheets, and that's because of rising rates. And if it keeps going on, you might have some you might have a financial system issue with these small localized banks suffering. So the Fed has to sort of balance, well, does it want to have higher rates to curb inflation and take out liquidity in the market? Or does it want to have, these banks fail? And that's sort of like the balance that they have to make over the next couple of months. They don't meet for another 2 months after this upcoming meeting. So it'll be interesting to see how they ultimately decide. It's all of a sudden gotten exciting if you're watching this.
Yeah, so it's just not a crypto issue. It can be a
Correct.
More systemic issue. There was a tweet from Bill Ackman, billionaire Bill Ackman, saying the failure of Silicon Valley Bank could destroy an important long-term driver of the economy as VC-backed companies rely on Silicon Valley Bank for loans and holding their operating cash. If private capital can't provide a solution, a highly dilutive government preferred bailout should be considered.